for lack of words, all of a sudden came in really hot about something completely different than I wasn't expecting, and it was a blind spot.
Hi, I'm Jeremy with Northwest. Welcome back to our Customer Service at Scale series. Today, we're joined by Client Experience Director Naomi. Naomi, welcome. First and foremost, when a business is scaling fast, oftentimes there are metrics implemented about scaling and being able to keep up with demand. Has there ever been a time that implementing some of those metrics has had a negative impact on the quality of service you're able to give?
Absolutely, right? It's almost like a trap in some way when a business that has customer service is growing so fast. They have to start implementing these efficiency standards, right? In the industry, they're known as service level agreements or metrics to meet, things like that, because you need that in order to take care of all of your customers with that growing demand, that growing volume, and everything else. And what tends to happen, and something that I've seen happen, is that as you're implementing these new metrics or this new efficiency standard, and the teams are like, oh my goodness, I need to meet these metrics, the pendulum goes from like the middle and being like quality and efficiency to like being so numbers focused, or that the mentality is that they're so numbers focused that the quality starts declining. And it's not like it's done on purpose. I think it's just a natural shift if expectations are not laid out super clearly on how you're implementing the efficiency standards in addition to the quality that you've already implemented. If it happens really fast, and it happens to a lot of businesses, then that's just going to happen, and you're going to learn from that.
Is that something that you went through here when we grew?
Yeah, so I mean, what I can draw from experience is that we had this huge growth, and we had already established what the customer experience, the client experience, that muscle of like providing that white glove service, that secret sauce, was already established. And then I was doing my regular job. I was listening to phone calls, and I was listening to a phone call from, someone that typically great customer experience. And first phone call, I go, well, maybe they were having an off day. They weren't really listening to the customer and answering like questions in detail like we expect them to do, or taught them to do. They were just kind of going. And then I was like, okay, one off. Then I listened to another one, and then I listened to another one. And I'm starting to notice a pattern, and I'm thinking, well, of course, I have to have that one-on-one conversation like I do with everybody on my team. And I went into that conversation thinking it was just going to be a simple like, hey, listen, like you're missing some things, no big deal. Like, listen to the call with me. Let's talk through it. Where can I help support, right? That's a regular conversation that you have when you're supporting a team. And as I started bringing it up, for lack of words, all of a sudden came in really hot about something completely different than I wasn't expecting. And it was a blind spot, right? They started going on and on about how the company had shifted to focus only on metrics, and it was all about numbers, and that the only way to do a good job was to like meet or exceed these numbers of these new things that had been implemented. And I think there was no clarity, right? No, it was confusing. And that's when I realized blind spot, right? In looking back, as we were doing all this so fast, there was never a moment to bring everybody in a room and say, like, this is in addition to this, and it doesn't mean that you have to meet 100% of this stuff all the time in order to feel like you're doing a good job, right? Like, we lost some clarity in that growth spurt. And that's when I realized that thanks to that conversation, and thanks to I was really, sad that they were feeling so frustrated, obviously, but there was a lot of validity in what they were bringing. And it made me realize, wow, we probably missed a big detail here, which is to continue to be very clear on the expectations of these things, how they go together, and that it's not like, oh, now it's this and forget about that, right? Yeah. And so that was very not surprising in the moment, but then I was like, oh my gosh, okay, let's own this, right?
Don't think of it as quality versus quantity. As customer service scales, quantity becomes a part of quality. But we've all been there, just feeling like a number to a business. If that's ever happened to you, let us know about it in the comments below. Then stick around. Coming up, Naomi's going to explain how to motivate your team as it grows while still maintaining that same level of customer service that made you great in the first place. So Naomi, what do you tell someone who's starting to grow that customer experience volume if they're taking that leap from good quality individualized service to now trying to meet a growing demand?
It's painting the whole picture and allowing, like, if you explain the why behind it instead of sort of forcing an efficiency standard or this standard, if you explain the why behind it and say like, hey, now you are representing, what once was me answering the phones, now you're representing the company, and here are our expectations for the client experience, which also include, the fact that we need to be efficient at our job to understand how we're producing and doing, right, for the overhead of the business and everything. And if you have clarity, but also explain the why behind it, and maybe put everybody in a room and like do a whiteboard session of like the reasons why. Like, I'm not just telling you this is how you do your job and this is why. Like, you have to say, why do I measure these metrics? Why is the net promoter score important? Why is that quality important? What is our secret sauce so that the customers can continue to enjoy the same experience they're getting now as we scaled versus when it was just one person answering the phone. Having that explanation and setting up those expectations, having clarity in it, I think allows buy-in and understanding of like, oh, okay, this is in addition to my job and this is why, and I get it and I'm behind it, right? Because it makes sense.
Naomi, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. Really appreciate it. If you found this information useful, hit subscribe. We have experts here at Northwest who can help you scale your business. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below.